Did the West just conduct another coup in Bangladesh? And if so, why? Former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was forced to resign after some student protests led to extreme violence and over 200 people dying and forcing her to leave the country. Now, Sheikh Hasina was an elected official and served for 15 years and is to this day the longest serving female prime minister or president in the history of the world. But somehow, a few students protesting a quota for government jobs turned into a coup. Yeah, that math ain't really mathing to me. Let's go ahead and look at why this isn't really adding up. How about the fact that Bangladesh was prompted and ready to join BRICS, and China actually backed joining them even though they didn't have the best relationship in the past? Or how about the fact that Hasina and Bangladesh backed South Africa's claims of genocide against Israel? Or how about the fact that Hasina blasted the US for using police force against students who were protesting the genocide in Palestine being done by Israel? And probably the most important fact that we should know about Hasina is that she suggested common currency like the euro for Muslim countries. You know who else wanted a unique currency for African and Arab nations who was subsequently overthrown and assassinated for wanting that? This guy, Muammar Gaddafi. And what makes things even more suspicious is the fact that a student leader had the authority to tell the military who they wanted to be the interim president while they were waiting for an election to be conducted. And that student just coincidentally picked Muhammad Yunus. Now, Yunus has no real political experience. He was just the guy who started the Grameen Bank, that was marred in controversy. Controversy like a money laundering scheme in which a bunch of money from Norway to Bangladesh and Bangladesh to Norway was laundered. And then he was subsequently fired after this was found out. Now you're going to see that Yunus actually won a Nobel Prize, but so did Obama, and Obama bombed 7 nations. So it's probably not the best look at this point to be winning Nobel Prizes. Kind of makes you look like a tool of the West. Now, one would assume in situations such as these that even if the prime minister was overthrown and forced to resign, that you would have procedure in place through your legislature and other governmental bodies to make sure that a democratic process would go forward and we could get a new prime minister elected by the people who represent what they want. But that's not what's happening. The military took over. And after the military took over and the students appointed Yunus, they announced that they would be dissolving parliament, which doesn't make any sense because if it's the legislature, that means the people elected them locally. Why would you need to dissolve the entirety of the government? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Norway is actually part of NATO and that Bangladesh is about to join BRICS and is considering starting, or was considering starting, their own currency with Muslim nations, and that there is an all-out war, shadow and otherwise, against all BRIC powers or BRIC countries. It looks like to me that we're seeing NATO conduct an all-out blitz of economic and physical warfare against all BRICS and potential BRICS nations because they know what comes next won't be good for their capitalist imperialist regime. But let me know what you think.